Hello, welcome to another video by LSX Engines, Tuning, and Marine. In this video, I'm going to install the front timing cover on the Mercruiser 3.0 liter 4-cylinder. But first, to do that, I cleaned the timing cover and I knocked out the old oil seal, which was in the front here. And you just wedge a screwdriver in there and pry it out. It comes out the front. And then I put the new oil seal in that I got out of a gasket set number. It is 17102. This is the lower seal or lower gasket set for a Mercruiser 3.0. It's about $67 for what you're looking at, plus this seal right here. Kind of expensive. Most of it's that oil pan seal right there. But anyway, and that's the cheapest I've been able to find one, about $67, $66, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, and this gasket was in there too. So this is the front timing cover, and I've prepped it. So to knock the seal in, some people asked me to show more detail, so I guess I'll show you how to do this. So I found a raised, I use like a 4.5-inch hole saw as a raised surface. Put this down on top of it so it had something solid to hit on. And I use this, like I said, I smeared gray. I smeared this ultra gray Permatex silicone seal around the outside edge of the seal. And then this cap, which is a, what is this, 1.5-inch PVC cap, just happens to be the perfect diameter for that seal. And I didn't buy this for that, I just happened to have it laying around in the shop for something else. So, and then I took a hammer and I just tapped on it right in the middle of it till I got it down in there. And then I think one side was cocked up a little bit, so I just tapped on that side and knocked it down. So I've got the seal in now, and what I'm about to do now, I'm gonna take this gasket. Actually, I'm gonna smear gray silicone sealant on the engine surface first, on the front engine block, then place my gasket, and then I'm gonna smear silicone on this part and place it on there. And then these are the bolts the 1/4-inch bolts I've already cleaned up for this purpose. And of course they were bagged and tagged. I've already taken them out of the bag. So that's what I'm about to do, and I'll pick up the video after I've smeared the. If you need instructions on how to smear silicone on a surface, I'm not sure I can assist you with that. It's really just kind of common sense. Just kind of, if you want some guidance, put the gasket up there. One thing I did say is you smear silicone on the inside edge of the gasket, like follow this line, go on the inside, You don't have to smear it all the way around the outside if you don't want to. I usually do, but I saw the factory service manual or somewhere said to just smear it on the inside. But so anyway, just lay the gasket up on the steel block and give you an idea where to put the silicone. You don't want to gob it on there too much. You don't want to have it coming out everywhere. And I don't put a whole lot, just I'll smear a little bit on the surface. I don't gob it on there. All right, as I stated before, I've now smeared silicone on the block, and I just basically follow the holes going around and put it more on the inside than outside. And kind of messy, but not hurt anything. I don't really like that right there. It's hard to do with my hand on camera, so we'll smear that off. So anyway, and by the way, there was some wetness, some oil on the bottom. The engine's upside down. It's been sitting here, so oil had kind of collected right here, was dripping, kind of running down a little bit. So you got to clean that off. You can't put silicone over wet oil. So I wiped it off with a paper towel first. Coming on around, put the silicone on the block, and so now, and also took the gasket and smeared silicone on the front face of it so that it would stick to the pan or to the timing cover. And now I'm about to put the timing cover on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a bolt in here and a bolt in maybe there, and use those as kind of like holders to hold the pan up once I get it started. And then that'll hold it in place while I put the rest of them in. And I'm gonna put them all in barely finger tight, and then I'm gonna put the harmonic balancer on. That's why I'm putting the timing cover on now. I don't already have the pistons in this motor yet, but I want to get that harmonic balancer on with my new tool and see how it works. So that's the point of me putting this cover on now. All right, I've placed the timing cover in place, and I've put all the bolts in, and they're not even finger tight. They're just there holding the cover on. I'm about to try to put the harmonic balancer on the front. There's no, like I said in other videos, there's no bolt in the middle to pull it on. So I'm going to try a new tool I've made. It's not an invention. I just made up a custom tool to help put this harmonic balancer on without having to hammer it on. All right, I placed a harmonic balancer on the front of the crankshaft. It's called the snout, and obviously there's a key in the crankshaft that has to line up with this key slot in the harmonic balancer. So now I'm about to set my tool in front of it and try to push this device on the engine. All right, I now have a custom tool that I made, putting on this harmonic balancer without having to hammer it on. And this is the way, I don't know if they make a tool like this for, the Mercruiser makes a tool professionally or not, but like I said in another video, I took a 1/2-inch steel plate, drilled holes. I used the template, the motor mount, which is right down there on the floor. I used it as a template and drilled holes in the steel plate. And then the last time these bolts were too short, I think they were 6 inches long. These are now 8-inch long bolts. These are 7/16 by 7/16/14 pitch thread bolts, 8 inches long. And these are 3/8 by 16, 8 inches long. I've got a crescent wrench. This is a 5/8-inch fine thread bolt that came out of my harmonic balancer. It's a V8 harmonic balancer puller. And I've got a nut. Let me see if I can get this out of you. Let me see what I'm doing. So I've got a nut in there that the wrench holds onto, and the nut's pushing out on this plate. As I turn this in, the nut stays stationary, which makes this push against that and everything. So anyways, it's now pushing and this is just a socket, a deep socket to give the snout the crank to fit into, even though it doesn't even come through this device. And this is just a plate between the socket so that this bar doesn't try to go in the socket. So now, when it's working, I've already pushed it on about maybe 1/4 inch. And I used the impact driver to get it about this far, but then the impact driver wasn't strong enough to keep going, so I'm going to turn it on the rest of the way with a wrench. And it seems to be pushing it on there, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep cranking on this wrench, tighten this up until it pushes this harmonic balancer all the way on the engine. And then once that's on, then I'll let's see. I got to make sure I can get to those bolts in there to tighten them up. So the reason I'm putting on the harmonic balancer now with the cover loose, so that when the balancer's in there, the cover can be moved around and then bolted down tight, be concentric with this harmonic balancer, the collar on this harmonic balancer. So that's why I'm doing it now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up for the silicone drives, and so I can tighten up the timing cover. Well, it looks like my harmonic balancer installation tool worked for a Mercruiser 3.0 liter, but it sure bent the heck out of this steel plate. It looked like it was kind of springing out some, so I guess it's seated. I backed off when it was bending out. So I'm going to take it off and see what it looks like on the front and see if it's fully installed. All right, after I disassembled the tool, I could tell that this balancer was not fully on the snout of the crankshaft all the way, so I put it back together. And you can see now that it's really putting a strain on this 1/2-inch bar. It's bending it that far out. But I just turned it till it just, I mean, I wouldn't say it was easy, it wasn't hard to turn. I'd say about 75% of my strength to turn it. And then all of a sudden it got really hard to turn. So I'm pretty sure it's bottomed out now. So I'm about to take it all apart and see what it looks like now. Okay, the timing cover is now installed. All the bolts have been snugged up tight. They're a few inch-pounds. I didn't tighten it very tight. I snugged them down with my wrist, a flick of the wrist, but that's about it. So the timing cover's done. The harmonic balancer is fully seated, and I know because it doesn't stick out. The chamfer meets right at the bore of the harmonic balancer right there. So it's now fully installed. And I could tell because it got really hard to turn right there at the end because I knew it was seating and not moving anymore. So this is now, my test tool or my custom tool for installing this device worked. I didn't have to hammer it on, which is a big relief. I don't think I'd ever hammer this on, to be honest with you. I would have broke something. So it's now on. So what I'm going to do now is I have to install the rear main oil seal and install the pistons. And stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.